Hi, thanks so much for joining me on the Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay podcast. I'm your host, Zach Randles-Friedman. Today is the first day of summer. It's June 21st, and I am thinking a lot about summer vacations. You may not hear this until later in the summer because I have so many shows that are currently being edited on backlog. But when you do hear this, maybe there'll be some time in summer left and you can take some of my advice and go to some of these places, or maybe you'll make comments on either the YouTube video or on the podcast and let me know what you're doing this summer. So let me start off by saying I've already gone on a trip this summer. Before the summer started, I went at the beginning of June, and me and 3 friends and my husband went to Charleston, South Carolina. And I have to say, it is a beautiful, such a cute little town, amazing, amazing food. People are really, really nice. And I'm glad that we got to experience it. I would say I would not go there any later than we did, because again, we went in early June because it is hot. Even in early June, it's hot. If you like the heat and you like the beach like that and the humidity, maybe it's for you, but I grew up in Miami and I never want to return to that heat again. But we went there with our friend Rachel, Val, and Allie. Rachel did all the planning. She had many friends that have gone to Charleston. And it was amazing for me because usually I'm the planner whenever we go for vacations. And I plan all the dinners with all of our friends or just me and my husband. And I plan all the days and the nights and the shows we see and whatever we're doing. I usually plan a lot of that myself. So I was so happy that I went and I just went along on the ride and did not have to plan anything, not one thing. And I knew of Charleston, and this sounds kind of crazy, because I watch a lot of Bravo reality shows, and 2 Bravo reality shows are filmed there. One is called Southern Charm, and you may know about this or heard of Craig Conover, who was dating Paige DeSorbo from Summer House, and they recently broke up, and it was in the news, and maybe you didn't, because maybe you don't give a shit about any of this reality TV, but I feel like it was everywhere in the news. And Craig owns a store there called Sewing Down South, and he sells pillows and other kind of home decoration things. And I actually went to his store and bought a couple of t-shirts, one for me and one for a friend. And I asked one of the person that worked there, "Is Craig here today?" She goes, "Oh, he'll be here in a half an hour." But for some reason, I didn't care enough to wait around and just wanted to go back to the hotel and take an afternoon nap. So I skipped seeing Craig because I'm not that impressed by meeting reality stars in person. But we had a magnificent brunch that morning, or that late morning, and it was near the ocean. And then afterwards, we took a walk on the beach. I don't even know how far we walked. We walked a lot. We walked a lot at the beach, and it was just so relaxing, and the water was so warm, and it wasn't as hot on the beach because we had the ocean breeze. And again, the water was so much more warm than it is in Boston. The Boston ocean is freezing always. I feel like it's cold all year round. And growing up in Miami, the water, even in the winter, it was warm enough to go into the ocean. So it was really nice. We stayed at a place called the Hotel Bennett, which was a really, really nice hotel. Great service. Rooms were beautiful. Nice hotel scent when you walked in, which is always important to me for some reason. Like when you walk into the Four Seasons, they have a particular scent that they now sell, or that people try to sell for them, for diffusers. And just like this hotel had a really nice kind of aura and scent. So loved it. I think one of the other highlights of our trip was we went to this restaurant that our friend Rachel, again, made reservations for, called Zero George. And Zero George is, I think, very hard to get in. So I'm impressed that Rachel got 5 people into the restaurant. And it is all a chef's menu. So you go in and everything is already like laid out for you about what you're having. I think you can make some substitutions, but very few. And I decided to also do the wine pairing with the meal. So I think there were 6 courses, and each course had wine that matched what you were having. And then I also, they had venison, I believe, and I did not want venison, so I upgraded to the Wagyu steak, which was, I think, a pretty hefty upcharge, like $95 just upcharge just for that. But I ate things I normally would not have eaten, and I liked everything I had. The service was magnificent, and it was just a really good time. As you're walking up to the, it's like on a property, and it's surrounded by, it looks like, I think, a hotel that's kind of surrounded by it. It looks like a very nice hotel. And as we're walking up, the host that greeted us outside before we even got there. And I think he even said, "Are you Rachel?" And yes. And so we came in, our table was ready right away. We ordered a cocktail before dinner, and it started off magnificent. One of the things I'll say about the dinner that was unique also is that, not that I just, because I tried things that I normally wouldn't have tried, but we were all just so happy. I think we all tried things we normally wouldn't try. One of the things that we did is, if you're watching this on video, you put some caviar here. They come by and put some nice caviar there, and then you eat it, and then you take a shot of vodka, and it was delicious. And I don't normally love caviar, but it was great, and just the whole experience all the way down to the dessert, and each wine paired was perfect. So if you are in Charleston, try to set up time to go to Zero George. It's worth the money if you have it, to go out and eat. Like, if you're a foodie and you want to experience good food, that's a great place to go. We were all so happy to be there also, because I think I just got off a 10-day trip of work travel in Chicago and San Francisco, and then flew right to Charleston from San Francisco. And so I was really ready to have a few days off. And I'll just say that we were there Thursday through Sunday, and that was more than enough time to see everything that we needed to see. Later this summer, we were supposed to go to a town called Bar Harbor up in Maine, which is about a 3.5-hour drive from where we live in Boston. And we were going to stay in Bar Harbor. It's a little cute town, and little shopping and restaurants. We were going to rent a bed and breakfast and go to Arcadia National Park. We're going to do that for like 5 nights or 5 days. Our plan was we were going to go hiking and do massages in the afternoon, or take naps and go shopping and have dinners, and just kind of do the whole thing, because we love going to national parks. We love the hiking, and it looked like it was a beautiful, beautiful town. However, I made us change things up, because I have another podcast called The Alphabet Mafia, and I do it with a co-host. His name is Slam. And Slam wants to do a photo shoot for our other podcast on July 5th. So we were going during the week of 4th of July. I think we were leaving June 30th or something, and we were going to then come back. And now we've canceled the whole Arcadia National Park trip to go to New York just for that weekend to do the photo shoot. But we are making up for it later in the summer. So we'll be in New York 4th of July. It's going to be so hot in New York on 4th of July. And the photo shoot, from what I understand, is going to be outside. So it's going to be really interesting to be that sweaty and gross doing a photo shoot. But, we'll do it, and we'll have a good time doing it. I'm excited to do it with Slam. And you'll see the pictures, I'm sure, maybe sometime in later August or later July or early August. What we're doing to make up for not going up to Maine and to go to Acadia National Park, we are actually going to Provincetown in Cape Cod. So we used to go every single year. We'd go for New Year's. We would always go with a huge group of friends. I think the last time we went for New Year's with a big group of friends, there were 10 of us or 12 of us total, somewhere around there. And it was not easy. Again, I am the person that makes all the reservations for everything. And it was not easy getting reservations for that many people in a small town. And if you haven't been to Provincetown, it is a mostly gay, LGBTQ friendly town. Most people that go there are LGBTQ plus friendly, or are in the community. Everybody is friendly that goes there for the community. And there's no big box stores. There's nothing like that. It's really like a cute town at the very end of Cape Cod, on the ocean. There is a beach that you can go to that's there that I don't like going to myself. And then they have a tea dance at the boat slip every day from 4, I think, till 7 o'clock. And then most people go to the tea dance and you're on this pier around this pool and having drinks with a lot of people that are in town. It's a big space. There's different theme nights. Maybe one night it's 80s music, and the next night maybe it's, I don't know, rock and roll. I don't know, whatever. There's different music every night. Top 40 one night. But most people go to the tea dance, and then after tea dance, everybody usually rushes and goes to dinner. And then after dinner, there's several options where you could go to. You could go to the Shipwreck Lounge, which is in the hotel that we're staying at, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Or you could go to, is it the Harbor House? God, I can't remember. I can't believe I remember. There's the A House that you go to, and that's like the last place you go to at the end of the night, because that's kind of like, and everything there closes at 1 a.m. It's done and over at 1. And the A House, they have dancing inside, and they have a whole outdoor area where people can stand outside and have drinks, and they have a bar outside, and it's fun. It's low ceilings inside where you're dancing, and there's a little bar next door, which I don't go to that frequently. There's also the Crown and Anchor that you could go to before the A House, and there's many, many great places to go to. Again, everything is LGBTQ plus friendly, and probably 75% of the people going are in the community. The place we're staying is called the Brass Key. And normally what we've been doing is renting an Airbnb. But before we did that for the past few years, we decided to go back to the Brass Key. We missed the pool. So there is this complex of houses and little cottages around the pool and the hot tub. And everybody kind of goes out there and hangs out by the pool all day. And you get to know the people that are there, because most people that are there are staying for the week. And they end up coming back the same time every year. And so you end up seeing those people. If you book the same time the following year, you'll see those same people. Because once you stay there, you get first dibs on booking that same room, because everything fills up quickly. And we will probably end up doing this again next year and staying the same days and seeing the same people the following year. One of the reasons why we have not gone in the last couple of years is because going with 10, 11, 12 people just was too much. Too many gays with too many different personalities. And we went for New Year's Eve, which is really fantastic time to go. It's fun. It's not as crowded. Not everything is open though. But it's fun to go, but I would not go again with 10 to 12 people. I would even go in the summer with 10 to 12 people again. It's nice to see all these friends, but again, too many attitudes and too much shade sometimes with some gays that we hang out with, that we no longer hang out with, actually, some of them now. So, but we're staying at the Brass Key. They have a great breakfast every morning. They have wine and cheese in the afternoon. And attached to the hotel is the Shipwreck Lounge. So usually we'll end up there for a drink, usually at the end of the night. And then you just kind of stumble to your room. And again, everything closes at 1 o'clock in the morning, except there is Spiritus Pizza. They are open, I think, maybe until 2 or 2:30. Because after the bar, everybody's getting pizza at the end of the night and everybody's hanging out. And I call it the sidewalk sales. So for everybody that's single, that has not hooked up or met with somebody, then they will go to Spiritus for their last call. We go just because to see people, and you're drinking and you want some pizza, and that's just kind of how it goes. And then other people, if they're not successful meeting somebody at the bars or the A House or Spiritus, they will head over to the famous Dick Docks. And the Dick Docks basically is underneath where the tea dance is. So underneath the dock, you can go underneath there. And underneath there, people start going, I guess, once it gets dark, or maybe it's in the daytime, who knows? But you go underneath there and you can hook up with someone or multiple people, because I've had friends that have gone and met multiple men. That is really the last call. If you don't meet somebody at the Dick Dock, then you're probably not having a great night, or you're off. Something is off with you about that day. Me and my friends have gone underneath there, and I make them go with me to take pictures because it's so fun to run down there with a disposable camera and have the flash go off and just see what happens. But once the flash goes off, you have to fucking run. You have to run really fast because those gays will come and get you. But I go underneath there, and me and my friends go arm in arm, and we walk under the dick docks. I am not hooking up. I've never hooked up in there, and I never would hook up in there, even if I was single. And you're going underneath there to see what's happening, and I'm laughing the whole time. I'm laughing where I'm almost snorting because I'm trying to hold it in because I think it's so funny. So if you go to Provincetown and you want a good laugh, and I'm there, let me know, and I'll be happy to take you for a tour of the dick docks. So that is what we are doing at the end of summer. We're going for Labor Day weekend. We're actually going for 5 days and going home on Labor Day. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I went last year to Provincetown for just a couple of days to see my friend Brian. I took the ferry out and then left after a couple of days just because I just was not feeling Provincetown, because the time before we went, it just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm like, I need a break from this place for a while, and I should have just not went at all. But I'm looking forward to going this year and having a great time with a small group of friends. The other thing I'll say is that we will not be going to the beach this year because, well, Andrew might, because the beach is so far from, it's not so far, it's close. But the reason why I don't love the beach is because once you get to where the beach is, where you park your bike, you have to walk through this like water that comes up to past your knees, depending if the tide is in or out. And it's a trek. And me and my friend Tony went one time with my husband Andrew. We went with a couple other people, and we had beach chairs we're carrying and all of our other shit because we're gay men, and you got to have the towel and the blanket and God knows what else we had at the time. And then once you finally make it through this swamp, which is what we call it, you then have to take a left. I think it's a left. And you have to walk very, very far to get to Boy Beach, the gay part of the beach. And it is a long walk, and it's hot. And again, I'm not for the heat. I don't love sand. So the beach just is not for me. And I sound like a complaining queen, but I don't love the beach. And it's a nude beach, which is fine. I don't do nude beaches for myself. Andrew loves the freedom of a nude beach. He thinks it's so freeing and awesome and stuff. And my other friends like it too, and good for them. I don't love the nude beach. And for myself, I don't mind other people being nude, but for me, my clothes are on. And plus, I'm so white. If anybody's seen my butt, they'd probably be blinded because it's so white. So there's just no need for it. And yeah, so I don't love the beach, but we may end up going. I mean, I have not gone in probably a decade to the beach. So if everybody said, oh, I want to go to the beach for a day, maybe I would do a trek to the beach, but we'll see. You can also go and stay at pools when you're at Provincetown and sit by a pool at the boat slip. And I think they're Crown and Anchor. You can pay $15 or something and sit by the pool for the day and get served cocktails, which is more what I would be into, is sitting by a pool. But I also don't want to sit and tan because I don't want to be tan and wrinkly when I'm old. So I take care of my skin, and yeah, I don't know. Sun isn't for me anymore. Ooh, I'm sounding like an old queen, but anyway, that's how it goes. It's a great town. Again, no big box stores. Everything is like unique little shops and shopping and great independent restaurants, and almost all the food is delicious and good. And I could give tons of recommendations. If you send me a DM, I'll be happy to give you recommendations if you haven't been there where you should eat. I'll just give a shout out to the Muse because that's one of my favorite places to go, because they have the shaking beef, and Cyril and Sal's is delicious. The Red Inn is one of my top favorite places to go. So I'm happy to give you more recommendations if you're interested in going. Just send me a DM. And that's what we are doing at the end of summer. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this podcast is something that I did well over a decade ago. So me and Andrew my husband Andrew, were living in Miami, and Andrew grew up in Long Island. He's Jewish, and a lot of people that live in New York and that are Jewish, as kids, they go to summer camp. I grew up in Miami and we had a pool. And so we didn't go to summer camp. That was our summer camp at home. And we had neighborhood kids that we'd ride bikes with. And, I don't know, we'd play video games, whatever kids do in the 80s is what we did. We did not go to summer camp in Miami. But Andrew did, and he has talked about summer camp our whole entire relationship. And actually, we went to a wedding in Maryland, I don't know, a couple of summers ago, and he wanted to go and take a hike and go to the summer camp. So we did it. We ended up parking somewhere we thought it was by the camp, and we ended up going through these trails that are no longer trails. Maybe they were trails 40 years ago when he went to camp, but they were not trails anymore. And somehow we discovered the camp. And I got to see the summer camp where Andrew went to. So because he went to camp and he had such fond memories of camp, and so his sister also would go to the girls' camp, and his mother would go work at the girls' camp, and then Andrew would go to the boys' camp. And he had such great memories of camp, and he wanted to re-experience camp again, or he wanted me to experience it. So when we were living in Miami, he found somehow this camp called Camp. And it is a camp that is for the LGBTQ plus community, and it's 1 week at the end of summer. So it is north of Portland, maybe like 2 hours north of Portland. And at the end of summer, once all the camps for the kids are done, this camp is taken over for a week by this couple of people that have been running this for well over 20 years now. And they invite LGBTQ plus people to camp for a week. I mean, not invite, you're paying for it. And so Andrew wanted me to go, and I said, I'll only go if I can bring a friend. And so I talked my friend Tony into going to camp. And we went. And I will just start off by saying, camping like the beach is not for me. I need 5-star camping if I'm going to go. When we went to Yosemite years ago, we went and stayed at a lodge. We went hiking and did all this stuff all day and canoeing and whatever else we did. And then we'd come back to the hotel in a nice 4 or 5-star hotel, have massages and have a great meal. And that's the type of camping I like. This camping did have cabins, and they were a bit run down for me. And I have to say, I'm not bashing this camp because I think if you like camping, you would probably love this experience. I'm just saying it from my own self. I don't love it. There is a guy that does YouTube videos. His name is Matt Cullen, and he just went to camp last year, and he has a video about it on YouTube. So you should go watch that to see if this is something for you, because I believe he enjoyed it. I didn't finish watching the YouTube video of him going, but he went by himself, which a lot of people do go. They attend by themselves. And I believe he had a good time. He met a lot of people. And just to kind of give you like what the camp is about. So think about people from all over the country. And a lot of people don't necessarily live in a major city that has a LGBTQ plus community or culture, or they could be the only LGBTQ person that's in their town, or that's at least out in their town. So think about that. Think about somebody living, let's say, in rural Arkansas, and you're a lesbian, because I think that's where one of the lesbians were. She was from Arkansas. And so her whole year, she has no gay friends, no gay culture. And so she looks forward every year to coming to this camp to be immersed in this culture where she's accepted. So I get it and I love it. So we are put in rainbow groups. And so they separated my friend Tony and me from my husband. We were all 3 in different rainbow groups because they want you to go and meet other people and be friendly with other people, which makes sense. So I was in my rainbow group, and the first day, the lesbian that I was talking about, maybe from Arkansas, she started crying. And she said that she was sad because she knew in 5 days that this experience would be over and she would have to go back to her life of being the only LGBTQ plus person in her town. And she feels so good and happy being around these other people. So I thought it was really nice that she felt that way. I was sad for her because I don't know why she doesn't move to a more friendly place if she's that unhappy. But everybody has their reasons. And so we went to our cabin, and that's whenever I knew this camping was not going to be for me. It was a thin foam mattress on a single, not even twin bed, because don't forget, kids are sleeping in these normally. And you have a sleeping bag that they told you to bring, so we brought our sleeping bag, and that was kind of it. There was a bathroom for you to wash your hands and feet and to use the bathroom, but there was no shower in the cabin. You have to go to the central showering thing to do, and I'll tell you a little bit about that as well. And so the people there are just like, when we went, they were just so different. But I have to say, I was much younger. I was, do I want to call myself a bitchy or mean or gay? Probably, yes. I'll say I was. And I'm not like that as much anymore. And as much. But basically, all these people were there and they were just not my people. And I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. And I'm really not trying to bash this camp because maybe I would go now because I'm more mature and I would enjoy it more if the accommodations were better. But the people that were there during the period of my life, those people were not my people. So this was maybe even 20 years ago at this point. Yeah, it was. It was a long time ago. So 20 years ago, I was a completely different person. There was one guy in particular that me and my friend Tony still talk about today, who had a camera. We were in our 30s, and so he would walk around and take pictures of everything. And he kept taking pictures of me and Tony more than anything else. And one day I'm like, what are you taking? Are these pictures for like the website or something? He goes, oh no, they're for me, for later. I'm like, okay, but like why? Like, why do you need 25 pictures of me today? And then when he walked away, Tony just gave me this look. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he's not taking any more pictures of me. Yeah. So it was like weird things like that. Yeah, I don't know. But we did do a pottery class where we had the pottery wheel and we made something. And I think I still have it somewhere, whatever we made. That was fun. We went kayaking one day, which was really fun on some river. And then we went up to Mount Washington on another day trip. And then we went to see lighthouses in Maine. And don't forget, we were living in Miami, so lighthouses were unique to us. And now that we're living in Boston, nobody cares that much about lighthouses. But that was kind of like, it was a fun way. And I wanted to get out of the camp as much as possible. So I booked all these day trips for us just so we wouldn't have to be there. So after the second day, I just shut down and I wanted nothing to do with this camp or anybody in the camp. I stopped going to my rainbow group, and my rainbow group leader came up to my friend Tony throughout the day and says, oh, I think Zach's having a problem maybe fitting in. And it's because I didn't like the camp and I didn't like the people and I wanted to go home. Or what I really wanted to do is I wanted to go to a hotel or a bed and breakfast in the area, and Andrew and Tony would not go. Tony hated the camp at first as well, but then he ended up hooking up with a camp counselor that was staying in our cabin with us. And the camp counselor was one of the cute guys that was there. And so Tony was in the woods doing bad things with the camp counselor. So then he ended up getting sucked in and loving the camp because of that. But not me. I would sit under a tree and read a book, and you had no cell phone service either, which drove me crazy. And I was immature and could not disconnect. But again, this is probably close to 20 years ago. I am a different person now. I'm not rushing back to camp, but I probably would have been able to tolerate it more because I'm into hiking now. 20 years ago, I wasn't into hiking. So I'm into hiking now. I'm more into the outdoor things. 20 years ago, I wasn't into that. So I would probably enjoy it more. And I think there's probably been a lot of publicity with social media and stuff over the years. So if you're interested in going to an LGBTQ plus camp at the end of August, check it out. Camp. Again, not bashing the camp. I think it's great. There's some great people that go there. That my friend Richie went to this camp. He loved it. Andrew loved it. Tony ended up loving it. For me, it's just because I don't love camping, let's just say. But anyway, if you're into that, check out the website. I think it's just search Camp on Camp Gay on Google, and I'm sure it will be the first thing that pops up. So, but let me know what you're doing this summer and what gay destinations you're going to. Leave a comment either on the video if you're watching this on YouTube, or leave a comment on the podcast, or send me a DM and tell me, and I'll talk about it in one of my future shows. So thanks so much for listening. Hope you have an amazing summer, or hope you're having an amazing summer, because you're probably hearing this in August. And be sure to listen to my other podcast, the Alphabet Mafia podcast, which I do with my co-host Slam. And then I also have my news podcast, which is called Listen Up Girl, where I give you 10 minutes or less of LGBTQ plus news a couple of times a week. Thanks. Have a great week, everybody.